This is following on with extended highlights of the third day of the first test between India and England from Chennai, exclusively on TalkSport 2. Download the Following On podcast from your podcast provider for all the reaction to the day's play, as well as exclusive interviews and analysis. England start day 3 on 555 for 8 with Dom Bess and Jack Leach at the crease, as India begin their 7th session in a row in the field.
Joe Root with that brilliant 218 yesterday. Ben Stokes, 82 from 118, who admitted in the written press conference that he was embarrassed by Joe Root yesterday because he was doing things that Ben Stokes can't do. There aren't many things that are on that list, Ben. I think you may be doing yourself a little bit of a disservice there, but it was a stunning innings from Joe Root. And England with power to add. They're desperately wanting to turn this position into a win in this first match of this 4-match series. And Ashwin is going to go back around the wicket to Dom Bess, who comes down the pitch and plonks him over wide long on and takes 4. Well, that's the first real attacking moment of the morning. And Dom Bess moves to 33, England 566 for 8.
Yeah, Ashwin decided to come around the wicket. Bess met him with a fury, danced down the pitch, got offside of the ball, and then brought that right hand just to clip it up and away over that straight mid-wicket catcher that he's got into the boundary. A lovely shot there from Dom Bess, second guessing what Ashwin was trying to achieve and saying, I know what you're thinking, pal, I'm just going to bop you into the boundary boards. Lovely shot.
The 58th 4 of the innings for England.
Are the umpires having a look at the ball?
We've got a new ball. I thought for a moment that I thought that the umpires might, because they are within their rights to force a change of ball, to force the team to take the new ball if they deem that the old one is so ragged that it's unfit for play. But do you think was that a voluntary decision? I think was that. Yeah, okay. Well, Bumrah's got the new ball in his hand now, 567 for 8, and immediately strikes Bess on the pads, and he's got him LBW. Well, the first delivery with the new ball. And Dom Bess is thinking about it. England have a couple of reviews. They have one remaining. And Jack Leach is being asked of his opinion. And he's decided that Dom Bess has to go. Not going to use up that review. And immediately the new ball is taken. It's success for Jasprit Bumrah. He's been the pick of the attack. And he's got a 3rd wicket now. And England are 567 for 9. Here's Ashwin again. Down the wicket comes Leach, using his feet very nicely, gets to the pitch of it and hoiks it over the bowler's head, over wide mid-on actually, and down to the boundary for 4. Good use of the feet, Jack Leach.
Yeah, it was very good. It was quick down the pitch. He made his decision pre-ball, I reckon. I'm coming at you, I'm coming for you. And he just sort of, on contact, he just took a little bit of the pitch with him. So there was a puff of dust, but a lovely strike, good contact.
Ashwin in, quicker one and a miss-stumping, that's poor. Oh dear me, that Rishabh Pant kicks the ground in frustration now. Yes, there was turn and bounce, it's a new ball, of course you're going to expect that. And it was unexpectedly steep bounce, but Leach was a yard and a half out of his ground. He'd used his feet once again, he was looking for another drive.
We've often seen it in world cricket though, haven't we, the modern day now, where the problem is the best keeper sometimes doesn't get in the side. I mean, we had it in our day to a certain extent. You remember we had Alex Stewart and we had Jack Russell. The best keeper, obviously, was Jack Russell. But when you've got a player like Alex Stewart who could bat anywhere in the top 6 and keep wicket to a very, very high standard, it was very difficult to get Jack in.
Bowled in, Ashwin in, has finished the innings. Jimmy Anderson on the conventional sweep shot. Little bit of turn and bounce, and Ashwin has his 3rd wicket, 3 for 146, and England have finally been dismissed for 578. It's a monumental score. No team has lost a test match having scored that many runs in the first innings, and so you would have to say that the game ought to be safe. I have to say it is safe as far as England are concerned. Can they win it now is the question. And India have been kept in the field for an eye-watering 190.1 overs. So England 578, and now finally India get their chance. You always say, Darren Gough, that you never judge a surface, never judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it. And well, by the end of today, we'll know just how flat this pitch is.
We will indeed. It's a great effort from England. 578 after winning the toss. You would have dreamt of that before the series started, and it's there. India will be relieved to get off the pitch, but now the hard work begins for both teams. England have to come out, put the pressure on India, and India have to bat well. 578 on the board there from England, a brilliant 218 from Joe Root, Ben Stokes 82, but let's not forget Dom Sibley, a fantastic display of determination and batting on day one to get 87, but 578, it's what dreams are made of. Well done England, but now the hard work begins for the bowlers.
Tell you one thing, as Joe Root gets his team out onto the middle now, the ground staff scurry away. Very small roller, that's even lighter than a light roller, that one, isn't it? It's like a little garden roller.
It's like rolling army up and down it, isn't it?
Easy, Tiger, we've got a long day together in here. I'm trying to set the scene, but we're not in Madras or Chennai. What we've got is another hot day. You know, we know about the humidity in the south of India. We know that potentially England have a long haul, though I do think that an early wicket, you'd expect Anderson to, he's got such a knack of picking up an early wicket or two, and it buoys you for the day, really. If you get a little bit of hard work done early, out of the way early, it's tremendous for lifting your spirits. Shubman Gill really impressed. Well, he's impressed actually in the last 6 months. He took the IPL by storm this year, as did a lot of actually even younger Indian batsmen. And of course he then went and played so well in Australia. It's slightly unorthodox, but really keen to pounce on anything loose, and a lovely attitude to batting. He doesn't look fazed by his opponent. In fact, the bigger the name, in a way, the more he looks as if he wants to take it down. And he's just done that with an attack that reads Stark, Hazelwood and Cummins. Now he's got Anderson and Archer with a new ball. It'll be Anderson with 3 slips and a gully, a backward point, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket and a long leg. So an orthodox field, other than point is a long way behind square. Here's Jimmy now, reaches a crease and drifts it down leg side, like the old loosener. Any man is entitled to bowl if he's had his feet up for 2 days.
Well, there's my point, because you look how the dismissals in this game and the field settings, but straight away, because England have got those runs on the board, 578, the captain, what does he do? Puts 3 slips in place in a gully. How many wickets have fell, caught, slip or in a gully so far this test match? But that's pressure, trying to create pressure. You got runs on the board.
And it's Rohit Sharma who's actually taking the first ball, and he stands beautifully on the back foot and just drops the ball into the offside for a single. So India are away. There was a cheer from the curated audio sound, as if somebody who's turning it on and off was mighty relieved just to get going.
James Anderson in. Shubman Gill. What a shot that is from Shubman Gill. Back past the stumps. Jack Leach at mid-ons on a retrieval mission. The on drive played with the minimum of fuss, the maximum of returns all along the floor for a boundary force. Shubman Gill is into double figures already. He's got 13 from 9 deliveries faced, and that is an absolutely glorious shot.
Wow. This is so nice on the eye. This is exquisite batting. Elegance, I would probably use as a word. He just leans on it, and it's the hardest shot in the game, just to knock it past mid-on.
Anderson in. Shubman Gill has nothing to do with that. Through to the Butler, no run.
What a start from Shubman Gill.
Jofra Archer starting his second over and beats Rohit Sharma with a beauty. Little bit of nip off the pitch on that one, past the outside edge of Rohit's bat, and it's through to Jos Buttler, and it carried through quickly as well. One in the last over barely made it through to Jos Buttler, but that one zipped through.
Yeah, there was speculation from our resident 2 nasty fasties, Goffey and Harmy, whether England would get some movement from this brand new SG ball. not just brand new as in today. I mean the development of it, and early signs are yes.
Archer is in, that's leg side-ish, and Rohit will flick it away through square leg, and he's just going to trot down to the far end because Jack Leach isn't going to get round and cut that one off. It's 4 runs for Rohit Sharma. He goes to 6. India 19 without loss. Archer is in. Oh, that's edge from Sharma, and he's gone. Archer has the first one of the innings. Fended by the opening batsman. Edge through to Jos Buttler, and the keeper does everything necessary. India 19 for 1 halfway through the 4th.
Wanted movement, we got movement. Jofra Archer, what a ball this is. This is a ball you'd expect to see bowled at Trent Bridge. He's bowled it just back of a length. Rohit Sharma can't really get forward, can't really get back. Has to sort of play at the ball, fends at it just outside his eye line. A very healthy nick through to Jos Buttler, who takes the catch just above his waistline. We said the ball was moving around for England. It definitely is, and that is a beautiful piece of bowling.
Here is Anderson once again. It's flicked away behind square on the leg side for 4 runs. It was definitely a half volley length. No swing for Jimmy Anderson. Got the line wrong there. Just started it just a wee bit too straight. It wasn't leg stump. It's probably more middle stump perhaps. But it was the length that Shubman Gill enjoyed. Actually, it was probably leg stump, wasn't it?
Yeah, just possibly going down into that leg stump area. But I think Jimmy Anderson was trying to pull his fingers almost sort of back, almost across the ball, trying to get the ball to hold in the surface a little bit, which is possibly why it went a bit straighter. Not quite an off spinner, but that kind of action on the ball.
Here is Anderson once again, and this time it's flicked away by Shubman Gill through mid-wicket to pick up 4 more runs here. He does like a full delivery, does Shubman Gill, but he likes a short one as well. In fact, there's nothing he doesn't like. It's really, really stylish. Here's Stokes again, short and pulled by Shubman Gill. He's going to take it on. He doesn't mind that. Don Bess fields at deep backward square leg, and they go through for another single. India 40 for 1. Jared's got some numbers on that. What are you going to tell us about the short pitch leg theory?
No, more about the fact that Ben Stokes is on so early. So obviously he bowls first change in India more than he does anywhere else because he's usually the third seamer in that case. But he's only bowled this early twice before. So it's very rare for him to come on. So clearly I think he was told he was going to have to up his load and bowl a little bit earlier. The other thing I just wanted to mention was that we had a situation where a Bayesian fast bowler hit the opposition star opening batsman in the hand, within a few hours of Ezra Mosley's passing, which is, as we talked about before, what he was famous for. So a very accidental homage by Jofra Archer, who probably would have known Ezra Mosley, I would have thought, and certainly would have known of him.
Be very surprised if they didn't know each other. It's not the biggest population, is it, in Barbados? I think they were pushed away. Beautiful timing once again by Shubman Gill. That's glorious. Goodness gracious me. You bowl. Where do you bowl to Shubman Gill? Because he loves the short ball. He takes it on. He's an instinctive hooker and puller, and then you bowl full, and it's just eased away through mid-wicket. Here is Archer once again. Oh, it's driven in the air! What a catch! Jimmy Anderson at mid-on. Oh my goodness, he just couldn't resist the temptation of the drive. It was full and straight from Archer, and Shubman Gill driving in the air. Jimmy Anderson's taken a terrific low catch, diving back to the hands on the ground, and Shubman Gill, well, goodness me, he can't believe he's driven that ball in the air. Archer has his second wicket, and India are 44 for 2.
Well, this is what we talk about. You don't need 3 slips in and a gully. You need players in positions where they can catch the ball. He's quite short there, close in at mid-on. He's tried to drive slightly on the up. His feet were nowhere, and it's a gimme. It's an absolute gimme for Jofra Archer, but he'll take it. He's got 2 wickets already in this innings of India. 44 for 2 here, live on TalkSport 2. Massive, massive wicket for England and Jofra Archer.
Archer is on his way, and that is roundabout off stump. That is a glorious shot. Clips into the onside. Anderson at mid-on. It was about 10 yards to his right, and he didn't get close to that one. He will go and jog after that one. Pujara has a beautiful boundary 4 that takes him to 7. And it was a ball that was Well, it was pitching round about middle stump, but Cheteshwar Pujara just clips it through the onside.
Concern for Shubman Gill, because that last delivery from Jofra Archer has hit him on the the right hand, on the back of the right hand, and that he had strapping on it already, and the physiotherapist is now out in the middle, and the glove is off. He's taken that strapping off, so clearly there was some kind of an injury there anyway, a niggle or a bruise, and the strapping's been taken off, and the physiotherapist is now manipulating the I'm not sure if they're what are they called, metacarpals or metatarsals, or are they in your feet? But the bones on the back of your hand.
Yeah, I think he had some strapping on his wrist, Shubman Gill. It was the I don't even know what the new sort of strapping's called, but it was more in and around sort of the wrist position that batters like sometimes, particularly on the bottom hand. They don't want it to be too flexible. They quite like to have it sort of rigid. And where the physio was looking, we're lucky to have the overhead camera. It was more around the knuckles of his hand where there wasn't really any sort of strapping. So fingers crossed he's going to be okay, because a man that's just come through Rahul Dravid's finishing school looking like this, I want to see a bit more of it. Not too long, but I definitely want to see a bit more. He looks absolutely wonderful, this young man.
That's a little short, and Pujara goes back. As so often is the case in the modern game, when he drives he only gets a single for it, because there's a sweeper out there.
The thing with Jack Leach, and as I say, I've been around him, I'm not a spin coach or anything, but been around him in New Zealand only last year. One thing about him is he thinks a lot about his game, and he's one of them who needs to be bowling every single day. So it'll be interesting how he does perform here as he just bowled.
That was a back defensive stroke from Virat Kohli. He waited on the back foot and worked the ball out onto the offside.
But it'll be interesting to see how he performs now.
Leach with his the back of his bald pate going away from us, drops an iota short, and again on the back foot is pushed out into the covers for a single. So already we've seen in those few balls, 3 balls, the key is to get it up, get it slow and up, and get the batsman playing forward defensively, or indeed looking to drive you and see if you get some bounce. But if you get a bit of dip on the ball, get it up there. Don't be shy of getting it up there. It's the message to Jack Leach of Somerset. Up there it is, and great footwork down the pitch from Cheteshwar Pujara. Beautiful timing of the ball through the leg side for a boundary to mid-wicket, and left alone again outside off stump. At the end of that Ben Stokes over, 59 for 2, Pujara 20, Kohli 4. The other thing about Ben Stokes is his hair, the fact that there is some now. You know more about that than I, Goffey.
Mate, there's a few. I think cricketers tend to go for growing their hair, not the orthodox way, and it's worked for Ben Stokes.
Oh, hello, they've come off for lunch. I thought they were going to squeeze one more in, but they haven't. The umpires have now taken the bails off, and Pujara and Kohli make their way from the field of play, satisfied to remain unbeaten. Another wicket before lunch would have been traumatic, frankly, for the dressing room. So applause on both sides of the pavilion for England and the 2 wickets they've taken, for Kohli and Pujara for surviving until lunch. 59 for 2. Rohit Sharma caught Butler, bowled Archer, one that bounced and left him. For 6, Shubman Gill drove firmly to mid-on. Anderson took a fine catch. The M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai, down in the south of India, and it has the England players walking to the field now, and 2 outstanding Indian batsmen confront them. Virat Kohli, one of the great players, not just I think of the modern age of the game, but I think we can put him into the great players list from any age of the game. He's unbeaten with just 4, only 12 balls faced, got a really snorting bounce at first ball and fended it off just wide of short leg. Cheteshwar Pujara, the great defender, unbeaten with 20. They used to call Rahul Dravid the wall. I thought there was a bit more to Rahul's game than just being the wall. I would call Cheteshwar Pujara the wall, though. He really does make it almost impossible to break down.
So Dom Bess is about to start a new over, and he's going to be bowling over the wickets to Pujara. Pujara just pushing out on the leg side and there is no run. Blimey, that's a sobering stat, isn't it?
Well, I wonder if they've got that stat in the England dressing room and they had a chat about that just before start of play.
I do hope they haven't. Blimey. Bess, short leg. Ollie Pope is under the helmet. Short straight mid-wicket. Pujara is coming down the pitch, whips it between the two of them. Plays it perfectly along the floor. Darren Lawrence will come off of the sweeping on the leg side boundary. Single taken, 71 for 2. Very good morning to you if the alarm has just gone off this Sunday morning. England all out, 578 on the board. And Jofra Archer has taken 2 wickets. He's got both openers for India already back in the hutch. They're 71 for 2. Over 500 still behind. Kohli comes forward to this delivery from Bess, and it's turned into the onside to Rory Burns, who is fielding at mid-wicket, and there is no run. Pujara's got 25 from 63 balls. Kohli 11 from 47. And Kohli is settling into his batting inside edge, caught short leg. Virat Kohli's gone. And the stat, well, it's not counting for anything today. Dom Bess has his first of the day. It's 71 for 3. It flew off the inside edge, and Ollie Pope gets the catch at short leg. Kohli has gone for 11 from 48. 71 for 3.
Well, that's what we were just talking about the previous over at Dom Bess. You ball that attacking line outside off stump. The pitch is on day 3. There's a little bit of turn, just a little bit of turn. There's a bit of bounce. Kohli playing away from his body, the bat well out in front, and he gets that inside edge and straight to short leg. What a big moment for England. Virat Kohli dismissed. India 71 for 3 here on TalkSport 2.
Well, there you go, Akash. There's the breakthrough.
Moment. Absolutely huge moment in the context of this game, the context of this series, I dare say, because you don't see him getting dismissed in this fashion. Okay, let me just add another stat to it. 2020 was the only year after 12 long years that he did not score a single international century. That's Kohli for you. 2008 and then 2020. Expecting him to actually hit the ground running here. It's very unlike him, going towards the ball with the hands and not allowing the ball to come to him. Went really hard as well. Therefore, the inside edge, a decent catch at short leg. And that average of 344 might have just dropped to 172 now.
Bess pauses, come passes umpire Menon, and turned into the leg side by Rahane. And there is no run there.
I'll tell you what will be interesting, and Akash will probably be able to tell us, is next week's pitch. Back-to-back test matches with the sun beating down for 5 days, with just a few days preparation in between. Will next week's pitch go earlier, if you know what I mean? Will it turn even more?
Well, 5 days of 30 degrees and 80% humidity, baking it for the 5 days. 3 days in between in terms of preparation. Bess has... oh my goodness, he's got a wicket with a worldie catch from Joe Root. Bess, it was a lowish full toss that Rahane came down the pitch and tried to hit through the cover, and Joe Root away to his left-hand side. The man can do no wrong. His 100th test match, he's got a double 100 in the book already. Now you can add an absolute belter of a catch, and England, well, this is dream territory. 73 for 4 India, and even the bad balls are getting wickets now. But what a catch. Joe Root, goalkeeper style, like Superman, one-handed away to his left. Thank you very much, skipper.
Well, what more can we say about Joe Root? What an excellent bit of fielding there. Dom Bess just put a little bit of hair. Ryan tried to come down the wicket. He just ended up reaching for it, caught the bottom of the bat, and a full toss went straight to Joe Root to his left. He was like a salmon to his left, and it was a superb catch. 73 for 4 now, India in deep trouble here on TalkSport 2. What a brilliant start from England's bowlers.
An absolutely brilliant start, but Akash, there is now work to do, and there's going to be plenty of pressure on Rishabh Pant. We saw him miss an absolute horrible stumping earlier today. We know that his batting is the stronger suit. It's going to need to be now.
Absolutely in deep trouble. Of course, Joe Root has taken a screamer Ajinkya Rahane's intent was good, stepping out, took the ball on the full, but then should have kept it along the ground or at least hit it further away from Joe Root. And now 2 wickets to Best, 2 to Archer, Pant at 6, Sundar and Ashwin to follow. But the 2 left-handers now actually, and there is enough rough outside the left-handers off stump. So you've got Best bowling right now. I don't think Jack Leach is too far away. India is staring down the barrel. Yes, the pressure is definitely full on Team India.
Archer now bowls so full and wide. Well, not wide, that's unfair. Just drifting leg side, and as Pant went to flick it away, he got enough on it, and it went very fine for 4.
This is the dangerous period, I feel, for England, because they're massively on top. I suppose it's a bit like when Stokes and Root were together yesterday. Pant can take the game away from you. We saw his last innings in Australia, quite magnificent. And he will want to come at the England bowlers, put them under some pressure. That will give England a chance of a wicket, but also he could take the game away and lose that sort of stranglehold they have at the minute.
And now he cuts, and he finds the gap on the offside without getting all the bat on the ball, but it trickles to the boundary. He really didn't try to hit that too hard. When you're in form, you don't. That was one of the things about Root's innings. It's much more about timing than power, and Archer bowled rather a soft ball, and I think he knows it. He's got that slightly frustrated look on his face, and he's whirling his arm over as if he just sort of tweaked it a bit or got it wrong or something. This time he comes down to drive, and mid-off inexplicably isn't there. Mid-off was wide, that's all. Okay, well, he's done well. He hasn't timed it at all. It's off the bottom of the bat, but it's gone for 4, and I suppose mid-off is too wide in my view. Against an off-spinner, I think you can be straighter. I think it's a bob each way to have him that wide. Here we go again. Best, down comes Pujara. Same thing, same place, same result. This was a full toss. So the footwork paying off. Pujara, with his vast experience and great quality, getting the better of Dom Bess in that over.
You can feel there's something happening here, Mark. Absolutely. I can feel you bristling.
Yeah, well, I just think that, as I say, Pant a bit like Stokes. Won't be dictated to. Good ball! Oh, spins, bounces. Don't know what it hit. Certainly thigh pad at some stage. Maybe glove as well. So this needs absolute conviction from the batsman. You have to have a plan. You have to stick to it. Yep, inside edge, onto thigh pad, and it drops safely in a space where neither short leg nor wicketkeeper could grab it. Down he comes, goes big. Is there anybody out there? How big has he gone? Oh, big, really big, into the seats. What a strike from Rishabh Pant. And now Pant goes big again. He goes really big. Oh, it's 6 more. Yes, just over the head of the jumping, diving fielder. Back-to-back 6s. That is a response of note from the Indian wicketkeeper batsman.
They've lost Rohit Sharma to a beauty from Jofra Archer, caught behind by Jos Buttler. Shubman Gill, the young opener, caught superbly by Jimmy Anderson. Jack Leach is into the attack once again, and down the wicket comes Rishabh Pant again for his 3rd 6 over long on.
Guys like Gill and Pant, they're brought up in a completely different way. And they think about their cricket in a different way, and they're incredibly talented. Like this isn't Sunday League slogging. They are backing their skills and their talent, and they really just think that they're going to clear this fielder.
Jack Leach continues. Rishabh Pant's gone once again, over long on. He's got all of it, and it's actually maybe not. It's only just cleared Jofra Archer. Earlier we had Dan Lawrence on the long on boundary, almost got a hand to the second of 3 6s, and so they put the tallest man in the team on the long on boundary now, and again it's only just cleared. It went as high as it went long. That's why I thought he had all of it, but he actually didn't. So Jofra Archer thought he was in business for a while, didn't he?
Leach goes in. Pujara uses his feet. Oh, that's gloriously played. Anderson knows at mid-on he hasn't got a prayer of stopping that one, and it's all along the floor for 4, and Pujara has another boundary. India go 139 for 4. Pant has 44 to his name. He's 1 shot away, therefore, potentially from a 50 from 32 balls faced. Dom Bess will start the new over. Right arm around the wicket. It's carved over the top of cover, and will go away for 4. Well, he is not going to die wondering this afternoon. Pant goes to 48 from 33 balls. It's another 4, 143 for 4.
This is absolutely in to out. smashed it through extra cover, in the air for 4 with such power, such confidence. It's great to see, you know. I mean, this is it's Test match cricket. This is brilliant.
And Leach will bowl left arm around. Pujara's using his feet. Glorious shot by Pujara through mid-off, wide of the fielder at mid-off, and Pujara has himself another Test match 50. He's got there 52 not out from 106 deliveries. That is number 29 for his Test match career. 1800s to go to that. But Pujara has been largely untroubled in this innings, and he comes down the pitch, meets it on the half volley and plays a glorious shot away for 4. Leach in. That one's quicker through the air, pitching roundabout leg stump. Pujara will guide it out to the backward point sweeper, take a single. He goes to 53. And now how does Pant want to treat this one? We've seen what he's done so far. 3 4s, 4 6s in the innings, and Jack Leach has gone for 3 4s and 4 6s in the innings.
Do you think he'll be playing for tea?
Yeah, he's playing for tea to be 70 not out, I think. Leach in, over the wicket, pants down the pitch, hammers it back past the bowler. That is 4 runs to bring up the 50, and Rishabh Pant gets to 50 in just 40 balls faced, 52 not out, and that is his 5th 50 in Test match cricket. It's only his 17th Test match, but Rishabh Pant has come in and played an absolutely glorious little cameo. Bess over the wicket, and Pujara deep in his crease, goes back, plays it down to Ollie Pope at short leg, and that will complete the over and indeed the session. So it is tea on day 3 of this quite remarkable Test match. It's been absolutely brilliant stuff from the very first ball. England dismissed the first ball of the 191st over of their innings earlier today, bowled out for 578. Dom Bess, LBW to Bumrah for 34. James Anderson, the last man out, bowled by Ashwin for a single, so 578 all out. India in reply, 154 for 4 at tea. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill going for 6 and 29 respectively. Both caught, both off the bowling of Jofra Archer. That was 44 for 2. Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane then dismissed by the off-spin of Dom Bess. Kohli caught at short leg by Ollie Pope. Rahane caught at cover brilliantly, one-handed, diving away to his left-hand side by the skipper Joe Root, to mean that at tea England have a lead. The Indians are 424 behind at this stage, so they'll be absolutely delighted with the way things are going. Just a question though about Jack Leach, gentlemen, and I appreciate you were seamers rather than spin, and maybe we get Gareth Batty involved in this one later on if the narrative continues. In Sri Lanka, people were talking about Jack Leach and rightly saying, well, hang on, he's been short of cricket, he's been short of bowling, he's been short of practice. We're now into the 3rd Test match, if you like, of this block of games. At what point is that narrative going to change to say, well, hang on, you have now had 2.5 Test matches, getting on for 3 Test matches, and it's not necessarily coming out how you want.
There's no hiding place. Every Test match, you don't get any warm-up games. They're all tests, you've got to perform. But first off, all I want to say about that session is that has been an unbelievably entertaining session. I think it had everything. You had the pace of Archer, you've got the skill of Anderson with the reverse, you got the spin and determination of Dom Bess dismissing Kohli, you got Rishabh Pant, the explosive youth. Do you know what I mean? The way he's gone and played some of the shots he's played there. And then you got Pujara, who has just showed us the world how good a player he is. And by using his feet and having a huge skill factor, similar to what Joe Root did when he batted for England. We're 1 wicket away where we could run through them, couldn't we? Jack Leach then can come back on. It gives him confidence. Dom Bess, the ball's turning, the odd one's bouncing. But it's like anything. When a batsman gets in, even if it's reverse swinging, it's so much easier, as Root and Stokes and Sibley showed. But when a new batsman comes in, it can be very difficult starting off, whether against spin or whether it be against seam if the ball's slightly reversing.
He taps the ground and waits now for Archer, who bangs that into the pitch, and it loops as he sways back from it to Jos Buttler. Akash Chopra has joined us, our friend over in India, former Indian opening batsman, of course, and now a leading voice of the game in the media. Akash, we're just sort of talking really about counter-attack. Scoffy was talking about bowling at Gilchrist in the day. England are feeling it against Pant, and we have to say this fine innings from Pujara.
Absolutely. Chalk and cheese, fire and ice, but then they're both complementing each other. And there is a different method to success, and that's quite evident.
He leaves that, another bouncer which drifts down the leg side. He leaves it alone. It's the end of the over with 182 for 4 on the board. We're just saying, though, that specifically what we saw, all of us on television, Rishabh Pant's innings in Brisbane. He finished 89 not out to win that test against the Australians and take the series. But in general in his career, this impact from the middle order, he's not a player you want to move up any higher, to me. Just going to open maybe in a T20 game. But I think for an attack that's tiring or a ball that's got softer, he's a fabulous striker, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. You're absolutely right, because he's the only Indian wicketkeeper to score a century, a test century in England, in Australia. That was on the previous tours. This tour, of course, what he accomplished at Gabba was spectacular. And so in terms of his skills, Mark, you're absolutely right. He's a notch above the rest. He's got the skills to score everywhere, but that's the right number.
Dom Bess bowls to Pujara, who works it to mid-wicket, and they come through for a single. That's well run. That's because Pujara saw the opportunity, called and went, and in the end Rishabh Pant could cruise through. So a nice single to mid-wicket. That's the other thing. They've managed to keep the score ticking. It's not just been about Pant's 4s and 6s. It's been about their ability to work the ball into spaces and keep the scoreboard moving. Oh, that's a short ball. And Pujara is back and swings it away to the square leg boundary. He knew exactly where the field was and exactly how he'd punish that rare bad ball from Dom Bess.
Yeah, just tried to get a bit more pace on the ball here. Dom Bess just lost his action, lost his front arm and dragged it down. But that man Pujara, he's just an absolute technician. Gets back quickly, rocks onto the back foot. Possibly one of the more easier scoring options for him with that delivery, but still got to put him away, and it was done with effortless ease.
He waits at the end of the run, spins himself a couple of catches, pants down on one leg, trying to flip it over his own shoulder. He's playing the scoop. It's going to run away for 4. I'm not sure if he did get a touch on it or not. It's certainly run away for 4 to the total, and it is a boundary. He did get a touch on it. He goes to 76, 196 for 5.
Bess in, or that's slightly short, and
Pujara has turned it into the leg side and given it away. Well, out of nowhere. Is that a deflection off Ollie Pope and short leg? I think it might be, because it looked for all the world he was just going to hit it through mid-wicket. Rory Burns it is who's going to go down in the scorecard as having taken the catch, but it's a ricochet off of Ollie Pope, and it's a 3rd wicket for Dom Bess, 3 for 39, and the wall has been broken down. He's turned, hit it into Ollie Pope's, I think, left shoulder or the top of his back. It loops up, and Burns takes the catch. Pujara cannot believe it. He hits his bat into his pad, but England have a massive, massive breakthrough. 5 wickets down. India 192 for 5.
Oh, I tell you what, Dom Bess, he's had some fortune, hasn't he, over this few tests he's played this winter. In Sri Lanka, that 5 in that first test, and then today, one with a full toss, a diving catch by Joe Root in the covers, and then that one, Pujara, who played a magnificent innings, middled it off a shortish ball onto the shoulder or back, can't quite see yet, of Ollie Pope, and looped to mid-wicket. A big wicket for England, and India now 192 for 5. The game's changed here live on TalkSport 2.
Oh, Akash, that's a big breakthrough for England.
Oh, it is, of course, especially keeping in mind that India is playing only 5 proper batsmen plus Rishabh Pant, a longish tail. Washington Sundar playing his only 2nd test match. Ravi Chandran Ashwin's numbers with the bat have dipped in the last 24 odd months. So it is a huge, huge moment once again. And it's come against the run of play. And seriously, I can't believe how it has actually panned out in the end. I remember another ricochet catch. It was at the Wankhede Stadium, India versus Australia, if I remember correctly, and that also changed the game. If I remember the name of the batsman, I think it was either Rahul Dravid or Sachin Tendulkar. The ball just ricocheted. It went up in the air, shot mid-wicket fielder, diving forwards, taking the catch. And I think India went on to lose that game.
Here's Anderson again. Punches off the back foot now. Sweetly timed. There's a chase on towards the extra cover boundary, but put your money on the ball. It was a good effort from Dan Lawrence. He certainly got the legs pumping after that one, but it was beautifully timed off the back foot from Rishabh Pant. Stunning.
Hey Goffey, I've discovered what could be the answer.
What's that?
To our tiredness. It's called a ginger shot. Not sure where it's from. It might be. It's one of those cold pressed juices, ginger shot. And I've come alive, Goffey.
Have you?
Yeah, I
think just have an espresso.
I'm going to bring. Well, I might have one of those too. Archer bowls again, and back goes Pujara to cut, and he hits it in front of square. The ball didn't get to him, but it didn't matter because he was hitting it down. He got enough on it. A lot of Pujara's boundaries don't race into the rope; they trickle into the rope. But it's another boundary. It's 181 for 4. It's a good shot played off the back foot. It's a good player starting to dominate.
196 for 5. India still 382 behind. We're only in the 52nd over of this innings. The scoring rate 3.8 and over in this test match, but the wickets column is India's problem. Pant's going to come down the pitch, hits into the leg side off of Leach. Has he got enough over this one? There are 3 out there, but the man on the mid-wicket boundary would have to be 4 rows back in the stands to take the catch. It goes away for 6. It's 10 runs in the over. 1, a boundary 4 after a flick over his own shoulder. That launched over mid-wicket. The Indian 200 is up. They're 202 for 5.
James Anderson once again. Steered on a beautifully open-faced bat from Rishabh Pant. And it's just steered. There's only a slip in a gully, so there's a big gap there. Archer, in-swinging Yorker. Turns out to be a low full toss, and it's driven for 4 straight back down the ground by Cheteshwar Pujara. A sweetly timed push, really.
Leach in once again. That's a little bit of air. That is cover driven by Sundar. What an off-the-mark shot that is.
India 214 for 5. Washington Sundar moves on to 9. And that one's dropped short by Dom Bess, and it's cut away for 4. There's nobody sweeping on the cover boundary. No deep backward point. Dom Bess, low full toss, driven sweetly by Washington Sundar down the ground. Here's Bess once again. Down the wicket, slice drive from Rishabh Pant. Out towards long off, and it's caught. Jack Leach takes the catch, and Rishabh Pant, for the 4th time in his career, is out in the 90s. He's gone for 91, and Dom Bess has got rid of the danger man, and India is 6 down. Bess has 4 for 53, and if Jack Leach has had a horrible day with the ball, at least he's got safe hands. Full length delivery now from Leach, and I've talked him into bowling a half volley. Apologies, I take full responsibility for that. He's bowled a half volley outside the off stump, and Washington Sundar has smashed it through the extra cover. Jack Leach back into the attack to Washington Sundar, who has been dropped by Jofra Archer at long off. Well, Washington Sundar's played a highly conservative innings so far, but he now decides to take on Jack Leach, and it was a really, really tough chance. He's halfway back on the long off boundary as Jofra Archer. He had to turn and run towards the boundary, looking to take the catch over his shoulder. He dived, he got both hands to it, but it squirmed from his grasp as he hit the ground. 3 men round the bat now. Leg slip and a short leg, and this one's slightly too short from Jack Leach, and Washington Sundar is able to play it very easily, nudging it out onto the onside. So India 257 for 6, and the senior umpire, the only member of the ICC elite panel of umpires from India anyway, Nitin Menon, has removed the bails at the end of the over, because that is the close of the day's play. If anybody had suggested that the first 3 days of this test match would have gone the way that they have from an English perspective, I don't think that many would have believed that it was possible for England to have 3 such good days in a row, but it's exactly what they've done, and that's why they're dominating this test match. They batted on for just under an hour this morning to make a massive 578 all out. They then reduced India to 73 for 4. Inevitably there was a fight back. There almost always is in these situations, but from 73 for 4 it was a spectacular, highly entertaining, although painful, from Jack Leach's point of view, fight back, led by Rishabh Pant, who made a glorious 91 from 88 balls. But nonetheless, England remain very, very firmly in the driver's seat, and it's India who are very much in the passenger seat at the moment, trying desperately to fight their way back into this test match. And what a blow it would be to the home side if they were to go 1-0 down in the first of 4 test matches, particularly on the back of that extraordinary series win down under in Australia.